Well, welcome to a festive workshop Wednesday brought to you by schoolbookkeeping.com, where it's casual conversations for serious workflows. Rachel, you are looking mighty festive in
Yep,
your what is the earrings?
they're ornaments.
They're
And you know what?
ornaments.
My friend Katie makes these, and they're super lightweight because she makes them with this like really light foam stuff because I hate heavy earrings. These are
Mhm.
really light. And you can tell I've got wrapping stuff all over my floor.
Yeah. We will not turn my camera around to see. I've just got it right here. I mean, within arm's reach.
Do you,
So,
well,
yeah,
your kids are grown up now, but when they were small, did you put the gifts out before or did you hide them
no,
and everything
no,
came out?
it was, you know,
Yeah. So
midnight, early morning.
we usually hid them always. Well, when they were little, like we'd sometimes put some out and then, the rest would all come out. But now my kid, like last year, I put a couple out beforehand, and my kids were like shaking them under the tree and counting them. And I got so irritated. So they are all locked up right now. Everything's coming out
They're
Christmas.
trying to guess what they are.
Yeah. And I think it turns the kids into brats, like, Mom, why does he only have 4 out? And, Mom, he has 4 and I only have 2. It's just like, it's driving me crazy because my kids are still
Right.
in they measure everything equally phase, and everything is like, if it's a millimeter more, then they get upset.
The injustice of that. My goodness. Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of injustice, we are going to be talking about emails, emails today. And I mean, in just a grand scheme of things, email has always been for me a struggle, right?
Me too.
Um, it is a method of communication, right? And a way that you can communicate with your clients, but it's gone through, I think an evolution, right, of what it was to what it is to today. But Rachel, how do you look at email? Not necessarily like getting into your like specific workflows, but what do you view email as in terms of your business?
Well, I have a hard time with email because I'm one of those people where I get really stressed out if I have a whole bunch of stuff unread. Those people that have like
No,
42,597 emails unread. You're like that.
guilty. Yes,
My husband's
I
like that, and I can't even manage my inbox.
no
Like, I'll have, oh my gosh.
38,000.
Oh my gosh. Look at mine. Look at mine right now. It's actually, hold on. I don't know if you can see it. There's 4. Yeah, you
Four.
can't
Oh
see
my
it, but there's
God.
4. So I'm the
Jealous.
kind of person where I have to clear the email constantly.
Yeah.
And I put everything in subfolders, I feel like all day long. And I can't let it get out of control because then I get stressed out.
Yeah.
And I
So
will
does that have
leave in my inbox like the things I'm immediately working on. And then when I
right?
move it over, it means I've done it. But it is a stressful process because I feel like I must always keep on top of it. And I hate it.
Yeah, it's kind of like sweeping back the ocean, right? I mean, like, if you got
Yeah.
a
I mean,
broom and it's
but I
just the
have a
side.
system. I mean, I'll go in and unsubscribe. If I see something like I didn't
Yep.
subscribe, I'll actually go in, click unsubscribe to prevent it and put it to spam. So mine rarely spirals out of control.
Got it. Yeah. So for me, you know, emails, because if I just had one inbox, that might be one thing, but unfortunately I don't. I have multiple inboxes, and I think anybody in a business environment would have at least two, right? You've got your business email and you've got your personal email.
Yeah, but if
Um,
for some reason you've got like 5 or 6, I can't. That's right.
I need to consolidate that. That is definitely, adding to the quagmire that I have here of 38,000 unread emails. There comes another one. What? All right, I'm going into do not disturb here. So don't
Oh
get
yeah, I should put mine
distracted.
on too.
That and that's one thing, right? Like notifications, alerts, email, that are tied to email. Do you find that you're you're delegating time to be able to work your email, or are you immediately distracted by the sound of an email or an email that comes in that, okay, I gotta, it's a task now, so
Yeah.
I gotta at least give my attention.
Well, I turn all of my notifications off. I hate it. I don't have any
Good
dings, no
strategy.
buzzes, no nothing. They're always off because it rattles me all day. So if I'm sitting at my computer, no, I don't really pay attention to the emails, but I feel like once every couple hours, I'll kind of go over to it and I'll see, okay, these have come in. Okay, junk, junk, junk. Okay, I got to do that a little bit later. That's part of that thing. Okay, I can put that in the subfolder. And I'll kind of like do it 3, 4 times throughout the day.
Hmm.
But, or like sometimes like after I've driven my daughter in the evening, because I drive her every day usually, I'll come back with my laptop and that's when I'll kind of like lie in bed and I'll get to my emails then if I haven't. But
Hmm.
I'm I would love some kind of solution because I mean,
Right.
I hope you're going to get into this. I'm sure you will
Yes.
about what to do about client communication because I don't want emails. I want them using the portal.
Yeah. Yeah. That was I was as serendipitous as it is. I think Jason Stacks had an email or something on LinkedIn where he was talking about you know email itself, or a video. He had a video or a podcast where he was talking about how to work your email so that it is that non fire or urgent important, because I think the biggest takeaway that he had in what his video there is that your clients are going to use whatever gets your attention
Yeah.
the fastest,
Yeah.
right? So if that's email, then they're going to do email. If it's text, they're going to text you. If that's phone calls, then they're going to call you, right?
Oh
So
gosh.
uh,
Oh, that's where I draw the line.
right.
No phone calls.
So yeah. So one other aspect of emails, that it takes a significant amount of time to respond, to some emails, right? So you have to put some thought into it. But I thought I heard you say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of allocate or time block some of your day to go through your inbox, right?
Because I know how I am, and if I don't, I'll stress about it, and I don't like to go to bed stressed about that. I like to have at least looked at them, parked what I need to. I know I'm gonna come back to that. That might be usually I'm always waiting on something from some tech company to help me with something, and that there's like a thread and I'm waiting and they haven't gotten back to me. Okay, I know that's coming. And so at least I've looked at it knowing I can go to sleep that night not really worrying about it.
Right. So I read a book, a couple years ago, written by Tim Ferriss. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he wrote a book called The 4 Hour Work Week,
Mm,
and that's kind of a like when I read it, I was like, that's what I want,
4 hours.
right? I want to work 4 hours, and his whole thing is about this concept of lifestyle design, right? Where you set up things so that you can design your lifestyle to fit your work lifestyle, right? So if you only had to work 4 hours a week and have a full-time income, wow, what could you do with that other 36 hours of work time? And he actually, he did some amazing things. Like he figured out how to hack a kickboxing tournament, and with no training, won a kickboxing tournament based on some kind of obscure rule, which
Mm.
which is interesting. So he's having these great life experiences also while working, right? And one of those things is, just what you said is that, do not get bogged down into your email. Anything that you can automate as far as your email process is concerned, you set up an inbox or a responder that says, "Hey, I only check email, you know, between these 2 hours. So if you're looking to get a hold of me during these time periods, I'll respond at this period of time, but don't expect anything outside of that." So that was like his takeaway when it came to managing your inbox with regards to that. But higher level, having this whole idea of lifestyle design. I mean, if you're buried in email with 38,000 unread emails, how are you going to have a 4-hour work week? When your goal is like four, right? Like four
Well, I
unread
mean, how
emails.
are you even going to get through those 38,000? Presumably, there's important stuff lost in there that you've
Right.
never addressed.
Yeah, yeah. So there's, um, the one aspect is allocating time, right? And setting aside time to go through that. And then I was doing some research and double checking, different strategies that are of how do I work through that. And there's a variety of methodologies that are out there, like just like inventory, last in first out, right? Like you can work on the oldest one
Yeah.
first and go through the more important. Then there's reverse chronological. Like one thing I do, just to kind of get ahead of the 38,000, knowing that there's this huge project to work with, is creating a today inbox, right? So it's
Mhm.
just only dealing with today, and it makes it easy for me to comb through those emails and do that. There's this idea of yesterbox, which which is basically yesterday's emails is today's to-do list, right? So
Mm.
you don't even go through any of your emails until first part of the day, sort through your inbox and work through that to basically give you your day of what you're going to be doing today. I don't know. I mean, these these things are kind of, they're, they may work for you, they may not. I mean, it's totally, up in the air. It's really just what works for you. And then when I was at Intuit, there was this program, or course that we could take, called Inbox Zero, which was all about the 4 Ds. When you're actually working through your email, you immediately just associate a D with it. And that's either going to be you delete it, you delegate it, you do it, or you defer it, right?
Mm.
So, and then you have some workflows that are assigned to, what do you do with those inbox, those emails. But, um, you know, I had a situation, and you bring up a great point. Like, how do you keep on top of your client communications, especially when email is very paramount to that, right? Like
Mhm.
they find that, okay, you do respond to email, so I'm going to continue, sending emails, or doing things like that. So especially, if it's not in the engagement phase yet, right? Like maybe it's
Yeah,
a prospective type of situation, or
that's when
or
there's a lot
maybe,
of emails.
right, they fly back and forth because that's typically the most common way that they communicate. Um, so I was on the hunt for for some kind of tool to be able to do that, and I wanted to give an example of something that I found. It's called Fixer, and it's F. Of course, it's misspelled because that's what
That's
that's what
nice.
everybody does today.
Oh yeah,
It's
I
F.
think I remember you telling me about
I
this.
was telling you about it. They advertise it will save you an hour a day, right? So, hey, if it could save me an hour a day, I'm all about that, right? So, I tested it out, and I got scared. I think I want to use this example. um, what it does, right? Let me share my screen here real quick here. Oops, I did have it linked. I just have to turn it on. Nope. Oh, that's right. I left and came back. That's why I'm like, what happened? I thought I
Oh.
had it all shared. All right, so this it integrates with Outlook and Gmail.
Mhm.
So because I have multiple inboxes, I'm going to turn this off for a second, so nobody's staring at my inbox. um, because I have multiple inboxes, that was part of the challenge of a lot of these tools that I was finding is that they maybe only worked with one of the inboxes, and then I would have to get multiple multiple accounts, or it would be pretty costly to do these things. But one thing I like about Fixer is that as long as it's a Gmail account or Outlook, you can combine all of your inboxes in this one tool, so you don't have to buy additional subscriptions when it comes to that. First thing that it does is it will automatically categorize your inbox. So let me share that again here. So
Yeah, I want to see that because I remember
yeah,
you were talking about that.
yeah. So it creates these labels here. So let me make this a little bigger. Whoops,
Yeah, I want to
no,
see that because I can't
wrong
see.
thing. So it creates these labels
Oh.
automatically: to respond, FYI, a comment, notification, meeting updates, awaiting a reply, actioned, and then the all important marketing, right? So,
Mm.
so if you do get a lot of spam, right, I can just look at this, and then here's all the ones that
Oh
were
my gosh. Yeah,
flagged
yeah.
as marketing. So immediately I could just go, okay, well, none of these are real important. Then I can just get rid of them,
Yeah.
right? There's 162 emails not in my inbox, right? If I got rid of them or put them somewhere else, right? Or you could
Mhm.
just leave them in this labeling, right?
Mhm.
The most important one is this to respond, right? Because that is something that um, requires your thought and attention, right? And
How
so
do
the
they
way
know
that it,
though that it's not a marketing and that it's a needs to be does it see I don't know.
yeah, it's not perfect, right? I had something that was sitting in FYI and it really should have been something to respond, uh,
Mm.
but but you can change the tag and it will move it over. The thing is the really cool part of this is that it will create drafts for anything that's flagged to respond, right? So, and I have an example of where this got a little scary for me. Of course, because it uses AI, to come up with those drafts. It doesn't automatically send the email, which is nice, right?
What
Because
if it goes rogue and then it starts sending emails?
that's right. Gives starts flipping the bird to my
Yeah,
clients.
what if it starts
Uh,
acting sassy?
that's right. We don't need Dan anymore. We've got it under control. Um, so that so it will do that. So I have an example here of wait, where to go? Okay, so this was an email that I wrote, right? So the situation is they're using QuickBooks Desktop, and they're using sales orders,
Mhm.
and they're using picking and packing, right? So this is a advanced inventory, type of situation, and they were having some challenges with their slip, pick pick list. Sorry, the packing slip and the pick list. Excuse me. Um, with regards to the sales order date, right? So um, in QuickBooks, just so that we're clear here. The when you print a packing slip or a pick list, it's just using the sales order, right? So it's the same transaction. It's just a different template
Hmm.
when you print it out of QuickBooks. So the date on the sales order is the date of the packing slip. It's also the date of the um, pick list, right? So they wanted to know the day that things were actually picked, the day that things were actually packed, right? So um, with that in mind, the solution or the workaround here is to create custom fields, right? And then change your packing slip template. I keep getting slip and list confused here on what I'm trying to say. Change the template to move that date to wherever it is that you want on the template, and then that date will be in use, right? So, she was asking about all of this, and I was like, this is what I wrote, right? Yes, the pick and packing slip are essentially the same transaction, just using a different template. So the transaction date is what it is. However, you can create custom fields and define that as a date and put that on your sales order template and call it picking date. On your pick list, you can remove the SO date, the sales order date, and use this custom field in its place. You would need to enter this date prior to entering it for picking, so it will print and use that date on the pick slip, and repeat that process for the packing slip. So your original sales order date would have sales order would have 3 dates on it, but the template would only have the date in question, right? So well thought out answer. I was like, yeah, this is, it probably took me, 15, 20 minutes, to craft this email in a way that was explainable. I forgot about this whole, creation of drafts, right? Later, I went and I looked at my drafts. To my surprise, let's see, where is it now? Here is what the tool did. So let me make this. I don't know if I can make this a bit. Uh, this is in my drafts, right? Like, hey, Andrea, awesome, glad it worked for you. As for the date, QuickBooks usually defaults to the original sales order date for consistency. However, you can manually adjust the date on the packing slip before printing without changing the sales order date. One workaround is to create a custom field for the packing slip date on your template. This way, you can enter the current date when you're ready to print and it won't affect the original sales order date. Let me know if you need assistance for this or anything else. All the best, Dan. That looks like something that I would have written.
But
Right?
how does it know that? Is it pulling from the data in your emails, or is it?
Yeah.
Have you trained it?
Yeah. I did not tell it anything. You just have to, as long as you're using Gmail, it will kind of look through your last, certain emails and start to learn your voice,
Yeah.
and how you might respond. Um, I was kind of scared when I saw when
Yeah,
I
it's a
saw this.
little like,
Like
I'm
that
just
was
thinking
pretty
of
close.
what if it sends something like, "Oh, hi, um, John, I've changed my bank info. Here you go." You know what I mean? Like, what if it goes rogue and like gives out such sensitive financial information?
Well, at this point, nothing gets sent out automatically, right?
Okay.
So, everything in here is just a draft.
Yeah.
So to the point of where we kind of are with AI and machine learning and automation, it will still require you to do something in order for it
To
to go out
send.
to your
But
customers.
I wonder if it's got a function where you can have it auto respond, like if you wanted to.
Not yet, right? Like
Yeah.
they just announced a Fixer Pro, which integrates with Salesforce and all this other, stuff. So I'm sure, that potentially, could be the case. But this is pretty phenomenal, right? Like
It is,
this.
because a lot of times I don't have the patience to make my email like, as flowery as maybe I want to. So a
Yeah.
lot of times I'll just respond with just do da 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 da, and I won't even say goodbye. I'll just
Yeah.
respond.
Like this one, yeah, and this one here, this is giving me 2 options in my draft, so based off of the context of the question in case, it gives me 2
Oh,
options, which then I can just, you know, tweak, even if it says like, in some cases it'll have like a place there to put, um,
mhm.
a link or,
Yeah.
something like that. If you Here's another cool thing about it is if you have a booking link, right, a scheduler link, it will connect to your calendar too, and as part of the draft, we'll offer times for the customer, right? And then
That's
also if they're
cool. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
that was really cool. And then if it doesn't, it'll mention like if none of these times work, click the scheduling link and find a time that's convenient for you. So
Okay,
these
that
are
I think is impressive.
Oh, and I forgot to put there is a trial. You can try it out, totally free. I think it's 2 weeks. But it took me a matter of a day to realize this was something that I wanted to utilize. There's a QR code up there in the corner, if you want to want to check it out. Would help us out here at School Bookkeeping, and maybe craft get you a little time back in your day, because that's the one commodity that we don't have is more
Yeah.
time.
You know what I wonder if it does is, I mean, like in my Gmail, my main Gmail, I use a ton of subfolders,
Hmm.
um, folders and subfolders, and sometimes subfolders. If you train it, will it know? Like, let's say once it's read, can you tell it to put itself in the subfolder?
Um, I don't know. Let's take a look at the settings here.
Or like, emails from Bob Smith, once they're read, always go to um Bob's landscaping folder or something.
Well, I think that would be more of a Gmail thing, right? Where you could train that when it is, or maybe a Zapier, type of thing. Like once it's not read, goes into the folder. I'm not sure. I haven't looked too deep into that kind of setting. But one other thing that it also does is it has a note taker for your meetings, right? So if you aren't taking advantage of a note taker for your meetings, like your Zooms or team
Mhm.
meetings, it joins and it transcribes and it creates an automatic recap of the meeting that you can automatically send to your customers, and they can review the recording if need be. But it goes into drafts, of course. It doesn't
Yeah.
automatically send that, but it does do that. So I'm evaluating it based off of the one that I'm already using. Kind of like in the other one, not this one, but
Mhm.
I've used it. It does have some good uses to it. Um, so that's another thing that this tool will do as well. So, um, any other questions about email
No,
or this tool?
well, I like that it's got a free trial. I mean, there's definitely, I mean, maybe I'll try it just to kind of see how it works. It's like, um, I think it's, I think it's kind of cool. I feel like I'm so controlling in a lot of different ways, not really in a good way, but my email is the one thing where I'm like, you know, I'm really, I want it where I want it, that I wonder if, if it already puts it in these places that might kind of goof up my system a little bit. But on the other hand, I'm open to having my system changed, because if it's going to be better, then it's something that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in holding on to things just because, I'm obstinate. I always want to improve. So if it's going to improve, I'm willing to try it.
Yeah, that was one of the things I took out of Jason's video was depersonalizing your inbox, so
Hmm.
that a lot of people were like, "That's my personal, this is my thing," um, but obviously that's not scalable. If you
Yeah.
have an inbox that customers or clients should be working with, and you're the only one that can work in it, then that gets a little challenging to be able to scale that across the board, because otherwise you're the single point of failure when it comes to something didn't happen in that particular inbox.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's kind of our chat for today. Hopefully, if you want to give this a try, give it a check out, and see if it saves you an hour in your day. There's clearly a learning curve to it. I mean, but it can literally be set up in like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
um, and then it just starts working. It's so far I'm a fan.
Oh, I
Have
have one last question about it. Does it help you go back and clean up the 36,000 unallocated emails?
Yeah, yeah. So now I can allocate more time. If I'm saving time responding, like I didn't have to spend 15 minutes responding to that client email. I could have used that 15 minutes to actually clean up my inbox. And because it automatically tags, certain ones in there, then that allows me to, get rid of those emails that aren't necessary
Okay.
for me.
So will it?
Also
Um,
does a follow-up too, right? So if you send an email and you don't get a response, it will automatically create a draft a few days later saying, "Hey, hadn't heard from you, just double checking," so on and
that's
so forth. So
awesome.
yeah, yeah, these are
So,
nice
but
surprises.
will it, like ones that it doesn't know? Will it just leave those there?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
uh, and as you work with it, just like your bank feeds in QuickBooks, as you work with it, it'll start to understand how you categorize, certain customers or emails or things like that, and we'll start to learn that to move forward.
Okay. Cool.
So, um, Rachel, I appreciate you joining me today and talking through your email challenges and woes. um, and appreciate you for all of your help through the workshop Wednesdays this year. We appreciate everybody joining us on this journey through School of Bookkeeping and Workshop Wednesdays. We are going to take a couple weeks off for the holidays, and we'll see you in 2025.
Oh my gosh, 2025.
Sorry to bring that up.
How is that possible? It was just the year 2000.
I know, I know. Well, we'll see you next time on the Workshop Wednesday, and we hope you all have a great and happy and safe and abundant New Year.